What's up, my peeps? We got some big PlayStation 5 news today because Sony just revealed a few minutes ago which PS4 accessories are going to be compatible with the PlayStation 5. And there's some good news and some bad news. If you were thinking your PS4 controller would be compatible with the PS5, it is in a way, but it also isn't in another way. So, PlayStation opened things up in our June Future of Gaming Digital event. We announced an array of PlayStation 5 peripherals and accessories that will be launching this holiday season, but we know that many of you were also wondering if and how existing PlayStation 4 peripherals are compatible with the next-gen system. Today, we're happy to share that brief FAQ that will answer some of your questions. Alright, so here's the deal. Which existing PS4 peripherals accessories will work on the PS5? Specialty peripherals, such as officially licensed racing wheels, arcade sticks, and flight sticks will work with PS5 games and supported PS4 games. So that's good. So if you bought a racing wheel for Gran Turismo or an arcade stick for Street Fighter on the PS4, both of those will be compatible with both PS5 and PS4 games. Thumbs up on that. Next up, the Platinum and Gold wireless headsets, as well as third-party headsets that connect via USB port or audio jack, will work on PS5. The headset companion app, though, will not work on the PlayStation 5. Sorry, that's another plus. I know I've got one of the two headsets. I'm not sure if it's the Gold or wireless, so happy to hear that I'll be able to use that with the PlayStation 5. So far, so good. And then this is probably the big one for most people. The DualShock 4 wireless controller and PlayStation officially licensed third-party gamepad controllers will work with supported PS4 games. Notice how it just says supported PS4 games? That's because afterwards they clarify and answer the question if the DualShock 4 will work with PS5 games, and they said the following: no, we believe that PS5 games should take advantage of the new capabilities and features we're bringing to the platform, including the features of the DualSense wireless controller. So they're talking about, the haptic feedback, the microphone on the controller, all the new features in the DualSense. Looks like they want developers to use those features, because we've had features before in controllers, but devs just haven't used them past maybe the launch games, or not much. Seems like this time around, Sony wants the developers to take advantage of those features, and that might be one of the reasons why they don't want the PS4 controllers to be compatible with PS5 games. That, and let's be honest, they probably want people to buy PS5 controllers, and if you can't use your PS4 controller, that forces you to buy a PlayStation 5 controller if you want to play with a friend or friends, because Sony knows there's over 100 million PS4s out there. That's a lot of people with a lot of PlayStation 4 controllers, and a lot of people that potentially wouldn't buy PS5 controllers, or as many, simply because they could use their current PlayStation 4 controller with a PS5 game, if that was the case. And with the likelihood that they're going to be losing money for each console sold and try and make it back via accessories and services and such, they're going to try and make as much money as possible with accessories and services. And there's no more widely bought accessory with a console than a controller. So if 100 million people aren't buying them because, we got PS4 controllers, that's a problem. So that's kind of a bummer. I know a bunch of people were hoping they could use their PS4 controllers with the PS5 games, so maybe they don't have to buy PS5 controllers right away. They can just use the controllers they have for the PlayStation 4 if they didn't care too much about the brand new features for the PlayStation 5 controllers, but that's not going to be an option for PlayStation 5 games. But that's not all when it comes to the accessories that are going to be compatible with the system. They then also said that both the PS Move motion controllers and the PlayStation VR aim controller will work with supported PSVR games on PS5. So that's also a good thing. The headset, the VR headset, will work with supported PS5 games. And also they add that the PlayStation camera will also work for the PlayStation 5. It will require an adapter though, but that adapter will be provided at no additional cost to PSVR users. Okay, so it seems like they might go the Xbox route. Basically, when Microsoft released the Xbox One S, there wasn't a Kinect port in there. But obviously there were people that wanted to upgrade to the One S, but they had a Kinect. So what Microsoft did is, for people who had the Kinect, who purchased the Kinect or the Xbox One with the Kinect, is they went ahead and had you fill out a form or whatever to, I guess, verify the purchase. And they would actually ship out the Kinect adapters for the One S to the people who had the Kinect. So I could see Sony or PlayStation doing this with this PlayStation VR situation, or the camera situation, shipping out the camera adapter to the people who provide proof of purchase that, hey, we bought the PlayStation camera for the PS4. So for the most part, I'd say this is good news. It's just the bad news is probably the worst of the bad news, because what they reveal here is there's more accessories that are compatible than non-compatible, but the one that's non-compatible, or at least non-compatible with PlayStation 5 games, is the most important one. It's the one that most people have. Well, everybody has. Everybody that's got a PS4 has got a PlayStation 4 controller. And I think that goes back to what I said. It's not that big of a deal. Like Sony's not really losing, that much money if, they make it so the PSVR is compatible, even though the PSVR is expensive, much more expensive than a controller or whatever. There's not as many people with a PSVR. And same with, the racing wheels and things like that. While on the other hand, a controller is something that every PlayStation 4 owner has, and with over 100 million PS4 owners, that's a lot of PS4 controllers. If all those people don't really have a reason to get a PS5 controller because they got a PS4 controller and they feel like, hey, I don't need to spend this money, especially during this time, let me just stick with my PS4 controller, it's fine, I don't need the extra features of the PS5, that would likely result, or at least Sony might fear that might result in a lot less PS5 controller sales. Now, given their reasoning, because the PS5 games should take advantage of the new capabilities and features, and that's why they're making it so you can't use the PlayStation 4 controller on the PS5 games, it's going to be interesting to see if they actually follow through with that, or if we actually see that taking place, where developers, where games really use those brand new DualSense features, and especially Sony, if Sony's going to heavily incorporate them into their first party games. Because if that doesn't happen, then I could see people going, hey, you guys said the reason why the DualShock 4 is not compatible with PlayStation 5 games is because of the PS5 games using the brand new features of the DualSense controller, and you're not using it. And these games aren't using it, so why not make the DualShock 4 compatible? But I will say this, with Sony having that dedicated PlayStation 5 DualSense controller video with Jeff Keighley, I feel like they're really trying to push those features and trying to get them used more for next gen. But I think this is also going to make people really appreciate the compatibility that the Xboxes have. Like for instance, with the Xbox Series X, all the Xbox One controllers are going to work with the Xbox Series X games, which is a great thing. The fact that you don't have to buy another Xbox Series X controller if you want to play with a friend or something like that, that's awesome. Although obviously there's a much bigger difference between Sony's two controllers compared to the Xbox Series X and Xbox One controllers, where the only difference is like an extra share button. But anyways, I want you to let me know in the comment section, what do you think of not being able to use the DualShock 4 for PlayStation 5 games?